friends, how are you? I am Christiana Gaudet. I am your Tarot Fairy Godmother. So happy to see you all here today. It's Thursday. So I want to remind you, first of all, that we have Global Tarot Circle this evening. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be here for an hour sharing readings with each other and having some interesting conversation about tarot. I hope you'll join us. The link is up, so just find the link and make sure you join us. So it's Thursday, and that means we do the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter recap. Do you get the Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter? If you don't, what's wrong with you? Go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com or christianagaudet.com, either way. Look for the button that says newsletter. You can read the back issues of the newsletter. You can also subscribe so you get it in your inbox every Wednesday. Every week we do a different topic, and then on Thursday, I'm here to discuss that topic and do readings about it. So this week's topic is creative problem solving. Here's the thing. One of the things that will show up at the tarot table pretty easily is creativity. I'll see it in people's hands if I'm reading for them in person. I see it in their cards, and very often, when I see that creativity, they'll say, yes, I'm an artist. I paint, I sing, I dance, whatever. Some of them look at me like I got two heads. I'm not creative. Oh, but the cards never lie. The key is to figure out the way in which they're creative. And one thing that often comes up is creative problem solving. I have one person I talk to. I call him I say his superpower is logistical finagling. And that is creative. Finding solutions to problems is creative. It's a temperance thing. It's also a Seven of Swords thing, where we have to sometimes find a way around things and through things. And we have to think about, how do we mix things together to find the right solution? So definitely read the newsletter. It's got a lot of great information. But today's questions, the readings we're going to do today, need to be about finding creative solutions. Two things that I think are really important to this: flexibility. You got to be flexible. And inspiration. You have to find inspiration in the face of your challenge. So we will do questions around all of these kinds of topics. Go ahead and get your question in, and we'll do it. And I do want to remind you that we have not only Global Tarot Circle for everybody tonight, but on Tuesday, we have our first ever members only live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope all the members join us. And I do want to shout out all the members. You can tell who a member is because their name is in green and they have a little sun after their name. The color of the sun denotes how long they have been members. The green sun is for 2 months or more. I think the sun color does not change again until 6 months. I think that might have been a mistake. I think I should have made a different color sun for each month. I may have to go back and fix that. I don't know. When I was getting the graphics, I didn't quite know what I was doing. So we're all still learning together, aren't we? So again, thank you all for being here. A special shout out to the members. Let me start doing these readings. This is a fun topic to do readings about, isn't it? Okay. Smile Soul 20, I don't see a question from you yet, but you're the first one here saying good afternoon. So I'm going to say thank you so much for being a member and good afternoon to you. And Moonlight Tarot, you're the second question I see, and you're interested in finding some creative solutions to the problem between you and Adele. Let's take a look and see what we see there. How can you employ creativity in this situation? What might the solution be? Honestly, I don't know. Not every problem has a solution. Sometimes the solution is recognizing there's nothing more you can do. That's where flexibility comes in. You have to be flexible because, of course, you want a particular kind of outcome. But sometimes you got to be flexible and say, yeah, no, that outcome is not possible. And that may be where you're at here. You may be at an impasse. Okay, Betty Flesher, so nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. Your main obstacle, where do you need to look for solutions? What is your primary obstacle? Honestly, I think in a lot of ways it's just about dealing with the ups and downs of life. That goes back to flexibility and also finding inspiration where you don't really feel inspired. That in everybody's life, there are going to be ups and downs. That's personally having to do with the people around us and looking at the planet as well. And I think sometimes you can really get caught up in the things that aren't fair, not even the things that aren't fair to you, but aren't fair to others. How the world does not operate the way it should or the way we would want it to. And you can get really mired in that and stuck in that. And I think that can be a primary obstacle for you. Hey, my goodness. Thank you so much, Clumsy Clairvoyance, for the super sticker. We really appreciate you. Clumsy Clairvoyance is a member here. That means that she makes a monthly commitment here, but she has also supported this broadcast with a super sticker. Super chats and super stickers are another way to support this channel. You can support this channel with your membership. You can also support this channel by simply supporting a specific broadcast with a super chat or super sticker. And it is all very, very much appreciated. Another way you can support this channel is like this video. Just hit like. That's a good way to offer your support. All right. Thank you all. All right. Karen Winkle, thanks for being here and thanks for being a member of this channel. What can I do to boost my creativity? I'm feeling blocked. And honestly, I think to allow your intuition to inform your creativity, to try to do something that is inspired by your intuition, whether that is trance dancing or spirit painting or in some other way, listening to music that is spiritually enlightening. But I think for you, it needs to actually come from spiritual inspiration. Chriswell, so nice to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, you've got a tough one today. This definitely requires some creative problem solving. How do I console someone who just lost a premature infant? That loss is already triggering enough for her, and I'm afraid anything I say would only make it worse. Oh, I am so sorry, and I so appreciate, your care and concern for your friend and your desire to be helpful. And I think what you have to do is just hold space for her pain and to say, man, I am so sorry. I am here for you. I share your grief, and let me know if there's anything I can do. That's really all you can do is to, sometimes to acknowledge someone's grief. Carrie Dunnick, so nice to see you. I'm doing a lot of that right now, creative problem solving. Is there more I need to open to, or am I on the right track? What a great question. Be open to inspiration and information from the universe. Be open to the voice of the angels. Put closure to things from the past, whether this is about doing more to release grief regarding the loss of loved ones, whether it's about releasing fear and pain from the past. As you look forward to the future, there may be some things that happened in the past as relates to job or money or things of that nature that you're actually fearing a repeat of. Don't do that. Don't bring the past to the new table. Hey, Von Ray, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. Melissa Grosso, so nice to see you. Thank you for being a member here. How can I more creatively approach work issues so I can feel my solar plexus and sacral chakra and not feel in such a rut? Yeah, great. Well, for you, the whole thing is empowerment. You have to feel empowered to do your job. You have to feel empowered to sit in that chair. You have to recognize that this is your baby. This is your work of art. This is yours. And I think the more you own it, the more you will feel able to be creative within it. You are looking to follow a template that does not exist. Yes, there are expectations that you need to meet, but how you meet those expectations and what you do above and beyond that is entirely up to you. And so in that way, it really is a blank canvas. And so just feel empowered to do that. And you can't wait for someone else to empower you. No one can empower anyone else. You have to be empowered to do it. You have to empower yourself. Okay. Hey, Kristen, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. JF, nice to see you. Thank you for being a member. I would like some creative problem solving and dealing with my family. My typical approach is avoiding them for a few years. Man, sometimes that's the best way to go. Let's take a look and see what we see here. Are we sure that avoidance wasn't the best answer? When we look at your family, they are not terribly rooted in any kind of reality. Excuse me for saying that. But I just feel like in order to deal with them too much, you either have to give silent consent to their stories, and their stories do not match your stories, or you have to actively argue with them about it, and that doesn't get you anywhere. So I'm a fan of continued avoidance. The only other thing you can do is in conversation with them and keep it, if it's not avoidant, keep it at least small and safe. You have to dictate and dominate the subject. And as soon as the subject veers into something that doesn't make sense, you have to bring them back. So you have to be, and that would take a lot of flexibility, a lot of inspiration, and a lot of creativity to sort of be the master of the conversation without them recognizing that that's what you're doing. Hey, Gemini Sun, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. I need some creative solutions to finding motivation and energy while I'm pregnant. Well, congratulations on your pregnancy. I know it's normal to need more rest, but maybe there's something I can come up with. Let's take a look. Sometimes pregnancy, you're very busy creating a child. And sometimes that is just what you have to do, is give in to that. And the problem is you have other things you need to do. Maybe you need to be working, that kind of thing. But here's the thing I'm going to say. Bare minimum only. You do the bare minimum of what is required of you only right now. As the pregnancy progresses, you may have more energy quite naturally. But I think you have to kind of listen to your body here as much as possible. And don't feel guilty like you're supposed to be doing all these other things. If your body's not feeling it, it's because it's busy making a baby. And that is the most creative thing of all. Clumsy Clairvoyant, so nice to see you. Glad that you're here. Thanks for being a member here. What is your creative strength? What is your creative strength? You have a lot of interesting flexibility. You have a lot of ability to pivot from one thing to another. You have a lot of ability to present things in a way that people can hear them, to create negotiation and connection between people. You have a lot of ability to understand ancient, sacred text and make it relevant for today. That's just a handful of things there. There's even more. You've got many. And so one thing you have to realize is it's not one obvious talent. It's many. Stella Barbara, nice to see you. What can I do to expand the possibility of beginning a new romance? So, looking for some creative problem solving regarding your love life. A couple things. If you have a type that you tend to date, be willing to date outside of that type, number one. Number two, maybe expand the venues with which you meet people. If you're doing online dating, maybe try some different apps. If you're not doing online dating, maybe try that. If you go to particular places to meet people, maybe go to some other places as well. That kind of thing. Ali Mammon, nice to see you. So you have some really great questions here that aren't really at all related to our topic as far as I can see. And I would love to be able to answer these questions in a venue where we're doing this. We are doing our Global Tarot Circle this evening. And for that first question about the Empress, the High Priestess, and the Moon, that would be amazing to ask at Global Tarot Circle this evening. So I hope you join us and I hope you'll ask that question. The second question, what are your psychic gifts? I could loosely relate that to creative problem solving. If the creative problem that you're trying to solve is figuring out what your psychic gifts are and how they are expressed. So, okay, we'll go with that. And a couple of things. I do think you're very empathic and intuitive. I think you do feel what other people are feeling. I think you really have that going on. I also think you may be able to do some direct channeling, whether that's from spirit guides or those who have passed on. So try to play with that. Okay, Pamela, so nice to see you. How can I better work through this anxiety to be productive in creative entrepreneurial work? So this is where creative problem solving absolutely comes in. And the answer is, if the anxiety stops you from doing what you need to do, you just need to be bigger and more badass than it is and power on through. That's number one. Number two, stop attaching yourself to outcome. I think that you get very attached to final product and what the outcome of that will ultimately be. Be there for the process. Be in the process. That's the important thing. Fun Ray, nice to see you. Thanks for being a member here. I haven't written for a couple of weeks and I feel bad because I have several unfinished projects I want to finish. How do I get back into that creative mindset and start writing again? Honestly, if you possibly can, set a time every day where you're going to write whether you feel like it or not. There's something that writers say, by chalk. What by chalk stands for is butt in chair, hands on keyboard. So if you have a time of day, every day or every other day or whatever, where you can say that's where I'm going to be, just put yourself there and eventually it will happen. Okay, Carrie, thanks for that feedback. And JF, thank you for that feedback. And Chriswell, thank you for that feedback. Hey, Joe Breaks the Internet. I haven't seen you in a long time. Was wondering if you broke the internet. Glad you're here, seriously. Christina R. I've lost motivation to finish the baby blanket I started for my nephew and start one for my future niece or nephew. How do I get my creativity back so I can finish my creative endeavors? You know, there's a lot of pressure here because babies are a particular age or they're coming at a particular time and all of that. I was just joking the other day about the people, and my mother was one of them. As soon as you hear about a pregnancy, time to knit, time to crochet, time to sew. And I think that's something really primal within us, that long before we had Kmart and Target and Amazon, when a baby was coming, we really did have to gather together and make stuff for the baby. But Christina, you're in school in a really, really hard program. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. There will be plenty of time to make things for the babies when you feel like making them. In the meanwhile, if you just want to go buy a nice gift, you can. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Stella Barbara and Pamela Thies, thank you for the feedback. Allie Mammon, oh, good, good, good. Come to Global Tarot Circle. That would be an amazing conversation. Would really look forward to that. Joe breaks the internet. I've got your question. Thank you for being a member here. And you did break the internet today, all right? How can I stay focused on my tarot business without getting distracted by worries and negative self-talk? We do need some creative problem solving here. And the answer is, when that negative self-talk comes in, do not perseverate on it. Just let it go through and say, yeah, it's normal to feel that way sometimes. Let me get back to my business. And just don't give it any energy. Acknowledge it and move right through it. Seriously, Gemini Sun, that is what it's all about. Do the bare minimum because you're already, every single day, every breath you take, everything you're doing, you're already doing the bare maximum or the big maximum or the full maximum, which is creating life. What more do you need to do? I mean, and again, in the olden days, you wouldn't need to do more. Today, there are things, we need to go to work, we need to do things while we're pregnant, but don't do the things you don't have to do. For God's sake, man, you've got the best excuse in the world. Use it. All right, friends, from my perspective, I have answered, oh, Christina, I totally get it. And Joe, yes, don't feed the beast. Exactly. Christina, I understand this. I totally understand it. And I think you just have to recognize what you're doing is exhaustion, and the baby's not going to hate you if you don't knit them a blanket. It's okay. My mother was knitting, but she didn't have a job. Different when you have a job. So do it when you can enjoy it. And if you can't enjoy it right now, do not force yourself to do it. Do not feel guilty about not doing it, for gosh sakes. You're getting your degree. That is creative enough in and of itself. And that will be a great example to the young people in your family. Oh, Chriswell, good. There you go. It worked. It worked. Friends, I want to thank you very much. I will look forward to speaking with you soon. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there or be square. The link's right there. Set the reminder. Do not forget. Join us. We'll be there for an hour. Bring your tarot cards. We will read for each other. We will answer Allie Mammon's question and any other questions that you have about tarot. I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for being here. And again, if you have not read the Tarot Topics weekly newsletter, go to my website, christianagaudet.com or tarotbychristiana.com. Read the newsletter and subscribe to get the next one in your inbox. Please make sure you like this video. I'll look forward to seeing you soon.